The Leo and Danny show.
Adventure.
Exactly. But how did you get into it? I mean, obviously, a guy with your talent is like you're going to be in the top 1% of guys in the industry as far as like fight skills and all that shit, right? Already.
Yeah, you know, the UFC was a great door to other things. Unfortunately, you know, 2007 when I was in it 13 years ago may not seem like a long time, but so much has changed.
Of course.
In the 13 years.
Has it though, Marlon? You look at the bottom of the fighter pay, it's still fucking $6,000 to show, $6,000 to win.
Yeah, it's still terrible.
There are fighters fighting 3 times a year, potentially making $18,000 that year.
Yeah.
And I mean, you lose 2 fucking fights, you win a fight and it's boring, you're liable to get cut from the UFC.
Wow.
Talk about Hugh, a controlling asshole. I love Dana White. I think he's hilarious. I mean, that guy's a fucking mob boss.
He's a mob boss. Bro. I mean, you have 7 fights in the UFC, so you know what's up, man.
Look, Dana White, it is well known that on the internet and for the first 3 years after I got out of the Ultimate Fighter, Dana White and I had an online war. He was posting pictures of me in my Halloween outfits and you know, and calling me out.
Wait, what kind of Halloween outfit was it?
I dressed, okay, so one year as Helga von Strassenhausen, female women's bodybuilding champion from Brussels.
Yes,
and you know, I was very strong for a woman. So I had bikini and my eyelashes were very fucked up, and so was my fingernails. But I have pictures on the Facebook of me in my bikini.
Your name's Helga, right?
Helga von Strassenhausen.
Helga, how much would it cost for me to shit on your chest?
Oh, no shitting on chest. No, only in the face, on the mouth. Yes.
I don't have to use saran wrap.
Yes.
Do I can just go raw dog on your eyeball?
No. Depending on what you eat, Helga likes everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can give you 500 euros.
So Dana, 500.
Yeah,
Wow, I retire, move to South America. There. Yeah.
I would pay you in francs, but
I got pictures of Helga, but you know, I did fucked up lipstick and I painted my fingernails and I put a bikini on.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything stuffed in the bra, but I was fighting and I was 190 pounds, so I filled the bra up nicely anyways.
Yeah.
And you know, he thought that was something that the rest of the world should see, and he made, you know, he'd be like, look, Marlon, who I kicked out of the UFC, is dressed as a woman. You know, it was Halloween in San Francisco.
And also,
it was
guys,
fun
we should
and
probably
creative.
say, Marlon, that after that brawl in the house, which I'm sure all the producers and Dana White were masturbating to.
It was huge.
They
Huge
couldn't
for the
believe
UFC.
what this was going to do for the fucking ratings.
Huge for the
Dana
UFC.
has the audacity to come in and kick you, Noah, and that fucking lobster chef guy who was
lobster.
like, there was like a guy who was a fucking career
Monster
lobster
lobster.
who was inciting the entire fight. Like, are you ready, Marlon? Are you ready, Noah? So they kicked those 3 out. That's what Marlon's talking about when he says that Dana kicked him out of the UFC. A complete hypocritical move.
Yeah,
Hypocritical move.
Lobster was from New England, and he actually owned a lobster shack, and his nickname was actually Monster Lobster.
And he wore like lobster hats and lobster shoes and like lobster.
And that's how
like
he
that
talked.
was his fucking thing.
Lobster,
Jesus.
Monster Lobster.
Yeah.
So the fight, you know, getting kicked out, all that good stuff. He's the biggest hypocrite in the world, because here's what happened, and here's what nobody out there knows about season 5 of The Ultimate Fighter. TJ Dillashaw knows. He came up to me.
I know TJ.
He came up to me at the Hendricks St. Pierre fight. Walked right past my best friend Jeremy Piven, who was standing right next to me, walked up to me, gave me a big hug, because he was season 7, right? Walks up and he's like, look, man, I know you don't get enough credit for this, but I know what you did, and I got to thank you, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And what he's talking about there is that episode of The Ultimate Fighter was going to be one of the last 2 episodes ever filmed. They had lost ratings to the point where they were only getting 300,000 views an episode because Gabe Rudiger got an enema and didn't make weight, didn't fight. And back then, the fans were so hardcore that they're like, "What is this? Excuse me, my French. What is this gay shit?" You know, I know that's not PC, but you know, back
You can say anything you want on this.
Yeah,
man.
Leo.
back then,
You're a fucking homo.
Yeah, well, you're a faggot, Danny.
Yes.
See, we can say anything we want over here, buddy. And the fan, these boys will love you for it. So
I love it.
It goes
All right.
without saying our producer's a queer. So
yeah, he's obviously
don't censor
gay,
yourself.
so it's fun.
And for those of you out there, if you don't know, I feel like Leo is the kind of massive man who could make it all happen if he wanted to. It's like, who's going to stop this guy? He's a fucking giant.
right,
Except for me, because I can run through glass walls.
That's right,
Yeah.
dude.
Anybody
myself,
with
I don't
any
care.
sparring matches in any combat
such a
sport will
son of a
beat
bitch.
Leo.
You're
gonna
unfortunately.
take Leo?
You're such
Yeah.
a son of a bitch. I have no fight experience. Whatever. I grew up and my parents cared about me.
It's
What can
a
you do?
running joke on the show that he used to box, but he never sparred. Marlon, what were you saying?
So
I'm curious
when
about.
they kicked me out.
And I remember that. I mean, the Ultimate Fighter, the UFC in general, just used to be way more star-studded than it is now. Like the run-of-the-mill guys, Chris Lieben, Josh Koscheck, those guys were entertainers as much as they were fighters.
Yep.
I mean, Chris Lieben would black out the night before his fight and get arrested in Vegas.
That's hilarious.
Koscheck was an asshole. Nowadays, nobody speaks English, or it's just a dude, like I said earlier, who's on his wheatgrass enema and is fucking training 6 months out from his fight. But I remember the couple seasons before, there was the comeback one that was pretty weak with Matt Hughes. The Tito Ortiz, Frank Shamrock one, or Ken Shamrock one was decent. But that's interesting that you say they were going to axe the program.
So the exact reason why, because that H.C. Scott and Company owned Spike back then. That was their production company that was running the Ultimate Fighter.
Spike TV, yeah.
So I had to go down to Wilshire on H.C. Scott. I had to go in there, fill out my paperwork. You know, when it was all said and done, I was hired in Miami for the show after 15,000 people went in, and then 5,000 people showed up for tryouts. It was the last 16. Yada yada yada. We do the show. I get kicked out. The executive producer, as they're taking me to the airport, and Lobster's with me in the car. Lobster's in the car with me. And this is a whole thing that I talked about with Bloody Elbow a few years back when they interviewed me. The things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. So they call me up and they say, just so you know, you're getting a $13,500 bonus check, and that's being mailed to you right away. Yes, Dana kicked you out of the show, but that's because Burger King was going to drop their sponsorship, and we can't lose Burger King sponsorship, because back then Burger King was one of their 3 top sponsors.
Yep.
Big logo in the middle of the fucking cage. You'd see it every time somebody fought. So they said, they don't like that look. We got to kick you out, but we're bringing you back. You're going to fight Noah in the finale. We're going to use you for this next 3 months, and you're going to promo this shit, and you're going to work, this is going to be the best, because here's what happened. We were canceled 4 episodes ago. We were getting 300,000 views per episode. Wow. After Gabe was getting enemas and couldn't fight, we lost so many views that we lost everything, and we were shut down. What you did yesterday brought in 3.5 million views. Wow. And we got a new contract.
Fuck. I need to bring Marlon in to do that for my channel right now.
The first thing I said to him was,
I got goosebumps here because I remember that phone call. I mean, and I knew that it wasn't the end for me. Right. I knew that the only thing anybody wanted to see in that finale was me fight Noah. They didn't give a fuck who won. Right. They didn't give a shit about anything else. The world wanted to see Marlon Sims versus Noah Thomas.
Right.
And they played the shit out of that up until the week before the fights, when Joe Silva called me up and said, "Hey, buddy, how you feeling?" I said, "Man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to tear this fucker's head off. This is going to be the greatest fight ever. You guys are going to love this. I'm going to get a contract." "Yeah, buddy, I'm really sorry, but we're not going to let you fight. You're still going to get paid. You fulfilled your end of the bargain. You're going to get your show money, which was $7,500.
Jesus Christ.
And we're going to let you go." So yes, I made a $13,500 bonus, and I saved the Ultimate Fighter franchise.
Right.
I saved the Ultimate Fighter franchise.